Demon Slayer Infinity Castle 2025. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle 2025, directed by Haru Sotozaki. One line review, maybe I expected too much. I came into Demon Slayer Infinity Castle fully prepared. Before watching it, I revisited all 4 seasons of the television series as well as Mugen Train. My expectations were incredibly high. Unfortunately, the film left me disappointed. Here's what worked and what didn't. 1. Music. There is little to criticize about the soundtrack. The moment the Demon Slayer core is pulled into the Infinity Castle and the main theme begins, the score perfectly captures Tanjiro's emotional state: awe, anxiety, determination, and the overwhelming danger of a limitless labyrinth filled with demons. Akaza's theme, driven by heavy electronic beats and auto-tuned vocals, fits his character remarkably well. 2. Action. Action has always been Demon Slayer's greatest strength, and it remains spectacular here. Its three-dimensional choreography is arguably among the finest in modern animation. The highlight is undoubtedly Giyu Tomioka's battle against Akaza. Another standout moment comes when Zenitsu unveils his self-created seventh form of thunder-breathing, flaming thunder god during his fight against Kaigaku. Yet, even these breathtaking battles contain one major disappointment. Tanjiro's awakening of the transparent world should have been one of the defining moments of the entire film. It is the scene that finally suggests he may have surpassed even the Hashira. Instead, the sequence feels strangely weightless. The narrative explains why Tanjiro removes his killing intent. Akaza can sense hostile intent and evade every attack. But the execution lacks the overwhelming visual impact that has become synonymous with Demon Slayer. The moment feels oddly subdued, almost understated. Frequent flashbacks also interrupt the momentum of the battle, preventing it from reaching its full emotional payoff. 3. Flashbacks. Perhaps this is the very reason why Demon Slayer continues to divide audiences. Personally, I have never enjoyed its reliance on flashbacks. Ironically, viewers who have never watched the television series may appreciate them more, since they provide all the necessary context. For longtime fans, however, they become repetitive. We've already seen this structure countless times. A demon appears, a battle begins, the heroes are overwhelmed, the tide turns, the demon's tragic past is revealed, the demon dies. Akaza's story follows this exact formula. Some viewers found his backstory deeply moving. I found myself struggling to stay awake. My problem isn't simply repetition. The truth is, I don't particularly care about Akaza's past. I don't care how poor Hakuji was. I don't care how tragic his childhood was. I came to watch Demon Slayer, not the life of Hakuji. I also question the series' insistence that every villain must be redeemed through tragedy. Why can't a villain simply be evil? Sometimes mystery makes a character far more compelling than explanation ever could. Consider characters like the Joker, Sauron, Hans Landa, or Thanos. Imagine if Avengers: Infinity War paused its climax for hours to explain how difficult Thanos' childhood was, the economic struggles of Titan, and every emotional reason behind his quest for the Infinity Stones. Would that really make for a better film? Finally, I simply cannot sympathize with Hakuji. No matter how tragic his past may have been, I know what he eventually became. He mocked and murdered Rengoku. He spent centuries devouring innocent people as upper rank 3. Knowing all that, I find him repulsive rather than sympathetic. 4. Structure. This is where the film disappointed me the most. Its structure is fundamentally flawed. The Infinity Castle arc has been split into 3 theatrical films, scheduled for release in 2025, 2027, and 2029. Perhaps the complete trilogy will ultimately feel satisfying, but judging this film on its own, it barely feels like a complete first act. To explain how it feels, imagine eating a multi-course meal. Normally you finish one course before moving on to the next. Instead, halfway through your meal, the chef suddenly takes your plate away because time has run out. That's exactly how this film ends. The issue is not simply that later installments haven't been released yet, rather this first film fails to create a satisfying narrative unit of its own. 2 problems stand out. First, unresolved storylines. Second, the astonishing number of unused characters. Compare this to Avengers: Infinity War. Marvel gathers virtually every major hero, the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Wakanda, and allows their stories to converge before ending with Thanos' snap. It feels like a complete chapter despite setting up a sequel. Infinity Castle does not achieve this. Akaza dies. Kokushibo draws his sword and the credits roll. Most of the cast barely participates, treating Akaza as a me.